Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy, Washington DC, the heart of American power, the stage where history is made, and not a city at the center of a storm. As you can see here, the headlines, and this is something which is related to that Trump demands homeless to immediately leave Washington DC, and the city mayor hits back. Now, the conflict's been started between Trump as well as the city's mayor. So, in a move that's sending the shock waves across the political landscape, United States of America's President Donald Trump has issued a blunt, uncompromising order. And what is that order? The homeless must move out immediately. From comparing the US capital to the Baghdad, to deploying hundreds of local, or you can say hundreds of federal officers into the streets. So Trump's crackdown is being hailed by some of the bold leadership and condemned by other as a dangerous assault on civil rights. तो आप देख सकते हैं the issue has been, or the conflict has been started between the president of US and the city's mayor. But here is the twist. Official crime, okay, official crime data actually paints a very different picture from the one Trump is portraying as well as the other. Now we need to understand, is this about the public safety? क्या ये सारी चीजें पब्लिक सेफ्टी के लिए की जा रही हैं, और इट इज अ पॉलिटिकल थिएटर? Is Washington DC truly spiraling out of control? Or is this the start of a new kind of urban warfare? Not against the gangs, or you can say the cartels, but it is against the most vulnerable. So stay with me till the end, because what is happening in America's capital, it could redefine that how the world sees crime as well as homelessness and leadership itself. So first we need to understand what is the context of the news. So what happened, as you can see here, United States of America's President Donald Trump, he said that homeless people should move out of Washington DC immediately, he mentioned. And then he posted this message on Truth Social, that is his social media platform. Okay, that means yesterday he posted that on Sunday. And also he talked about it in a press conference today. He's going to talk about this in a press conference today. Now Trump actually compared Washington DC to the Baghdad, which is the capital of Iraq, which angered the city's mayor. As you can see here, she is city's mayor. तो ये एग्जैक्टली इश्यू है. तो अब सवाल ये उठता है, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली डिड ट्रम्प से? अब ट्रम्प ने एग्जैक्टली क्या कहा इन सभी लोगों को, तो आइए समझते हैं. Trump said that the homeless have to move out immediately, and he also promised that he is going to give them a place to stay, but it should be the far away from the capital city, that is far away from the Washington DC. And he said criminals would be put in jail, and that is why he also posted the photos of tents, okay, as well as rubbish in the city. And he said there will be no Mr. Nice Guy. We want our capital back. This is said by Mr. Donald Trump. Now, what is plan? अब ट्रम्प का प्लान क्या है? तो स्पेसिफिक डिटेल्स तो नहीं दी गई हैं, दैट स्पेसिफिक डिटेल्स आर अनक्लियर. बट if you go through his 2022 speech, if you go through 2022 speech of Trump, है ना, speech of Trump. Now what did he say? Trump suggested that moving homeless people into the high quality tents, okay, on inexpensive land outside the cities with bathrooms as well as medical care. ये कहा था 2022 के speech में. And recently Trump has actually ordered the federal agents, है ना, he actually ordered the federal agents into Washington DC to fight the crimes. Now this includes actually अब इसमें कौन कौन से एजेंट्स होंगे? यूएस पार्क पुलिस, यूएस पार्क पुलिस इज देयर, डीईए, एफबीआई and US Marshal Service. US Marshals Service. These services, these officials are included, and around 450 officials, or you can say 450 federal officers were deployed on Saturday night. अब सवाल ये उठता है, why now? अभी ही ये चीजें क्यों हो रही हैं? So सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, द कॉन्टेक्स्ट इज recently a 19-year-old former employee of the DOGE, that is Department of Government Efficiency, he was, as you can see here his image on screen, he was assaulted in an alleged attempt of carjacking in Washington DC. He was assaulted, and then Trump actually posted a video. Trump ने ये वीडियो भी डाला, okay, of the blooded victim online, and he called that crime situation totally out of control. This is the thing. अब इस पर मेयर का क्या कहना है? As you can see on your screen that she is the mayor. So इनका नाम है Muriel Bowser. So Muriel Bowser, she is the mayor of DC and she is a Democrat. And she actually responded by saying that we are not experiencing the crime hike or crime spike. Violent crime has been driven down to a 30-year low over the last 2 years. ऐसा इन्होंने कहा yes, और इन्होंने ये भी कहा, इन मेयर ने ये भी कहा, yes, there was a spike in crime in 2023, but that is actually over now. As you can see here the data, and if you see the data of 2024, but that is actually low now, low crime, है ना? So there was spike in 2023, but that's over now, and that is why calling the Baghdad comparison, and she also said that Trump called Baghdad, है ना? This is like, this is false thing that you are comparing wrong, and this should be considered as hyperbolic. Okay, this is said by the mayor. तो ये चीजें शुरू हो गई. अब सवाल ये उठता है, क्राइम सिचुएशन का अगर हम फैक्ट देखें, if you see homicides, see here homicides this year around 98 in Washington DC. And if you see the federal data January, which shows last year had the lowest violent crime in 30 years, when actually you can say including the carjacking as well as assault and robberies. So these things are mentioned in your data, as you can see here. Okay, so what is next actually? Trump said that he will hold a White House news conference today to share the plans for stopping the violent crime in the US capital. ये कहा है ट्रंप ने. अब सवाल ये उठता है ना? Now the thing here is the impact of this Trump's demand to move homeless people out of the city, okay, and his wider crime crackdown. It could play out in three main ways. It can be politically, socially, as well as legally. So it can have three kind of impacts. That is politically, socially, and legally. Now let's try to understand first political impact. First political impact could be the polarization. कैसे polarization हो? Now Trump's remark, especially comparing Washington DC to Baghdad, will likely deepen the divide between the Republicans as well as the Democrats. Okay, because his supporters may see it as a tough on crime, while opponent may call it as inhumane, or you can say political theater. Second is, this can be considered as his 2024 election strategy also. This was his election strategy, which means crime and urban disorder are hot button topics in the US politics last time. And this move may be aimed at energizing his base as well as framing Democrats as soft on crime. Then, third important thing, mayor and president of US clash. है ना? So ongoing public disputes between the Trump as well as the mayor Muriel Bowser, it could make Washington DC a symbolic battleground in national politics. Second could be the social impact. अब इसके social impact भी हो सकते हैं. First social impact could be homeless displacement. Okay, homeless displacement. So now just try to understand, moving people far from the capital, it could mean relocating them to the camps or the facilities outside the city, you know, which might actually reduce the visible homelessness, but it cannot solve the problem or the root causes like mental health, like addiction as well as unemployment. Then how will be the public reaction? A public का reaction कैसा रहेगा? Public reaction based on this. Some residents, they may welcome cleaner streets, fewer tents, while other they could protest also. They may say that it is a violation of rights or criminalizing the Trump is actually criminalizing the poverty. You know? So these perceptions can also be there. Then if you see crime statistic perception, so even though official data shows a 30-year low in violent crime, except homicide rates, high political, you can say high profile incidents like carjacking, assault, it can fuel the perception that the city is unsafe. So these can be the reasons. Now then comes legal and administrative impacts. Now legal and administrative impact. Now first it could be federal local tensions. Now, federal local tensions. How? Now, as you can see here, Washington DC has its own local government, but Trump is actually deploying 450 federal officials, from the agencies like FBI, then DEA, ये सारी agency है. This could actually spark the debates about overreach of federal power. So this is the actually issue of federal overreach. Then civil liberties concerns are there, like making it easier to arrest the homeless people via the recent executive order. So it could also actually face the legal challenges from its own or from right groups only. Then implementation challenges are also there, like without a clear plan for where and how to house displaced homeless people, the policy is actually risking, and it creates the question on humanitarian as well as logistical grounds. So it US might face the humanitarian as well as logistical problems. So overall, if we see, if these things are implemented aggressively, then the plan might quickly change the way, or it can quickly change how Washington DC looks, but it could also trigger the political backlash, you know. It could also trigger the lawsuits, it could also trigger the protest as well as a national debate over whether homelessness is a crime or a problem or a social welfare issue. So these debates can be there. So overall, we can see that Washington DC is actually now stand at a crossroad. One path leading to Trump's vision for a cleaner, safer capital. On the other hand, the it leads towards a fierce battle over the rights, over dignity, over power, okay, and also the limits of power. So for some, this is a moment of long overdue action. For others, it is an opening act, often alarming the crackdown, whether the poor are pushed aside in the name of beauty as well as order or not. So beyond the politics, we can say, or beyond the headlines, there actually lie a deeper question. And what is that deeper question? That question is, you can say that every society, not just America, must answer this. When we promise to make our cities great or safe, who exactly are we making them safe for, and who gets left behind? This is the question. है ना? So the answer may decide not just the future of Washington DC, but the moral compass of an entire nation. So this is all about Trump's plan with respect to the homeless people. Okay, so let's see what will be the next in US national politics. Till the next time, stay curious, stay updated, and subscribe our channel Legacy IAS Academy. Thank you so much.